Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Sorry, I was just having a slight tech issue there, but I seem to have fixed it. So let's get started. Welcome to the daily analysis. Today is Thursday, the 4th of April 2019. Time is 10:02 here in the UK. You're looking at a EURUSD daily chart. So let's get started with looking at some of the recent trades. So I'm long on EURUSD, as I mentioned in yesterday's members only analysis. This trade triggered yesterday. I can't remember exactly what time, but it was really early in the morning. It was like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., something like that. It's not going that great, but it's not going bad either. I mean, it's in profit right now. It's stalling out a little bit and just moving sideways, really, throughout here, which is not unexpected. If you look to the left, you'll see that price does tend to stall out in this area here. So it's stalling out a little bit. I'm not too worried. I'm just going to leave it open. My only big concern is moving over to the news. We have nothing today, but tomorrow we have the non-farm employment change, also known as the NFP. That's pretty much the biggest report in the forex market. It's huge. It's a big market. It's the biggest cause of news-related volatility in the forex market, with the exception of like just unexpected crazy news like Brexit. But I mean the consistent numbers with consistent releases. This is the biggest one, so it could really have a huge impact on the market. And with this trade being so close to its entry, I'm not 100% sure I'm going to hold onto it throughout the NFP report. Now, usually I'll just hold on to trades through the NFP report, but I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to deal with this one. The reason I'm not 100% sure is because the NFP report's not coming out till tomorrow. So I need to see where the trade is tomorrow to make my decision. So if tomorrow it's climbed back up and made some new highs, like, up here or something, I'll probably hold on to it. If by tomorrow it's back down at the entry, I'm probably going to close out of it. But like I said, it's no real surprise to see price ranging right now. Before NFP, you tend not to get that much movement. You tend to get these tight ranges forming because traders are just kind of sitting and waiting for that NFP release. So I'm just going to keep a close eye on this one and just let it run for now, really. Are there any questions about this setup? We also have New Zealand USD, which I'm not in personally, but it is another trade I shared. It's in a similar situation, although this one's getting even closer to the entry. But yeah, it's doing pretty much the same thing. It's just moving sideways. So there's no real surprise there, as this one was always a little bit more likely to move sideways. If you look to the left, you see that it moved sideways here for quite some time. So there's even less surprise there. But and like I said, with NFP week, it's pretty normal to see some slow movement. But both of these trades, just hold on to them, and let's see how they're doing tomorrow, and let's make our decisions on these tomorrow. AUDJPY, some people are still holding on to this one. There's a lot of these trades aren't doing too well, to be fair. AUDJPY is not doing that well. This one was turned around because of news. Some unexpected AUD news turned it around. A lot of people are holding on to it because it was at resistance. I would suggest to just keep holding on to it. I mean, it's not retracing as fast as you would want it to. So the news drove it up. It's not retracing as fast as you would want it to, but it is starting to retrace. So it's probably going to head back in the direction it was going originally. It's just taking its time a little bit. And gold is another trade I'm in. This one's also not doing the best. My entry was here. It's pretty much just ranging between my entry and the support area. So basically my entry is acting as resistance and there's support below it, and it's just ranging between my entry and resistance. Sorry, my entry and support. So yeah, just a bunch of trades that aren't really doing exactly what I want them to this week. I'm only in 2 of these. It's EURUSD and gold, but some people are in New Zealand USD as well. Some people are in all 3 of them. Look, that's the reality of trading. Some weeks you're just going to get into trades and they're all going to go in your direction and it's going to be awesome. Some weeks the trades are going to be a little bit slow moving and then eventually they'll hit your target. Some weeks they're going to be slow moving and then hit your stop loss. It's just the reality of trading. That's how this market works, and you just have to get used to that or stop trading if you can't handle it. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to hold on to these 2 trades that I've got going. EURUSD is still in profit right now, so there's no real reason to rush out and exit. And I'll revisit before the NFP release and decide if I'm going to hold through the NFP release. Right, so let's look for some new setups, although I really doubt we're going to find anything that's viable today with NFP just around the corner. Because nothing's changed too much since yesterday. CAD-JPY, there's a short here some people might be in, but it doesn't look that good. Nothing much on EURUGBP. EURUJPY, we were looking at this one in yesterday's members only analysis. Price is stalling out on resistance. It's still stalling out on resistance, so you could feasibly enter a trade here if you wanted to soon. But the risk to reward ratio just doesn't seem that fantastic here. It's doable. It's a weak setup at best. I wouldn't rush into this setup, guys. It doesn't look like it's finished moving up anyway. I would just hold on. Just keep watching this one, see if price pulls back up to resistance and goes further into resistance. It's not even that strong of a resistance area, really. I'm not gonna jump into this one. I'm going to wait for price to push up further into resistance. And same with CAD-JPY. I'm not jumping in this one, not because I want price to push up further into resistance. This one I'm not jumping into just because it's a bit too late to jump into it. If you're in it already, then hold on to it, of course. But this one's already triggered, really. So if you're jumping in now... Yeah, it's a bit late, I would say, because if you were jumping in now, the risk to reward ratio is just not going to be that great. Your entry would be here, your stop would be at a minimum there, and your target would be in, yeah, the risk to reward ratio is not great. If you jumped in on the 8 hour, then things would look a little bit better for you in terms of risk to reward ratio, because you probably would have gone in somewhere like here. You have a good to risk reward ratio. That's nice. So yeah, I'm not jumping in on CAD-JPY right now. EURUJPY, I'm waiting for it to push further into resistance. Let's look if we can see any others. GBP-AUD, nothing much. GBP-JPY, we're just waiting for it to push up to resistance. It's not there yet. It's making some very slow progress, but once it hits resistance, then this will be a confirmed range. And I'll be looking for a short from this resistance area, but it's not there yet. So we're looking at this as a potential in yesterday's analysis. It's not really turned into a trade. Still a potential, really. It's moving sideways like most things are doing right now. GBP-USD, another potential which isn't turning into a trade right now, waiting for price to push up into resistance. as I say, guys, we're not really going to find much today. Things just slow right down before NFP. So it's no surprise to see sideways movement throughout most of the market the days before NFP. Okay, so, whoa, I didn't even see this. The trade I shared on platinum has finally broken through this resistance area. So I went long on platinum here, and the idea is to hold this trade for quite a long time. I know my target's up here, but I would want to extend this target beyond this resistance area. This is just my initial target, but that's probably going to be extended. I was waiting for price to kind of get through this resistance area. It had one attempt here after I entered, which it didn't succeed at that time. It started pulling back down. And now it got back down to my entry, and now it's turned around and started sloping up, and it's broken the resistance area. That's a really good sign for this trade. I'm just going to hold on to this one and let it run. At least up until this resistance area, but very possibly further. Awesome that it's finally broken. I don't want to move my stop loss yet. It just has not really moved up enough. I think when it hits 1.5R here at this point, which is very close to be fair, I might move my stop loss up 0.5R. But yeah, but not right now. So when I say I might move my stop loss 0.5R, that's essentially halving my stop loss. So my stop loss would be sitting around here when the trade moves up a little bit further to around about here. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today. There's nothing too exciting happening. Like I said, it's pretty normal before NFP for things to be quite boring. Still looking for a potential on EURUJPY if it pushes up to resistance. Still looking for a potential short on GBP-JPY if it pushes up to resistance. GBP New Zealand, I mean, it's stalling out. There's just no real clear setup here at the moment. GBP-USD needed to push up to resistance. This one, we needed to push up to resistance. We just need some movement in the market to take us to resistance. And NFP is going to cause that movement because it pretty much always does. But the thing is, traders are just sitting on their hands waiting for NFP. So that's why we're just not seeing that much right now. Got a bit of a push yesterday, but beyond that, there's not really been much. So yeah, I'm holding on to EURUSD. I would suggest holding on to New Zealand USD if you're in it. I'm holding on to gold. I think this one's just going to take a little while to develop. Gold doesn't move the same way forex moves. Not exactly anyway. It's a little bit of a different breed, and I'm just gonna have to hold on to this one. I'm not that worried about this one at all. For those of you who are in AUDJPY, just hold on to that one too. That wraps it up for the analysis, guys. Bit of a slow Thursday. Let's see what happens tomorrow with NFP. It's probably going to cause a bit of a stir in the market. This one in particular, I think, has a good chance of causing a bit of movement. Previous one was 20K. The expected, or the forecast, is 175K. So that's a big leap. If it lands on the expected, then we shouldn't see that huge of a movement. But in all likelihood, it's going to, well, not in all likelihood, that's a bit of a bold statement. let's say there's a good possibility, because it's such a big leap, that it doesn't quite reach that 175K forecast, and that it falls somewhere between 20K and 175K. And if that's the case, it might be bad for the US dollar, which, you know, could be quite good for our EURUSD trade, New Zealand USD trade, and XAU USD trade. It could be quite good, but that would require holding on to these trades through NFP, which can be quite risky. So, you know, there's pros and cons as always. I'm possibly going to close out, possibly going to hold on to it. It really depends on what happens with this pair today. I'm going to look at it throughout the day, see what happens, and yeah. Everything. NFP affects everything. USD is tied in with every single pair you see here. Even EURUJPY, that doesn't involve USD, but EURUJPY is a cross pair. It's not a standalone pair. To calculate the rate of EURUJPY, what you do is, well, what you do is you look at your broker and it tells you the rate, but how the rate is actually calculated is by taking EURUSD, USDJPY, and multiplying. So EURUSD multiplied by USDJPY equals EURUJPY. So EURUSD 1.1233 multiplied by USDJPY 111.40 or 114. Wait, no, 11. Damn it. Equals. Stick this in the calculator. 125.13. 125.15. Obviously it's moved up or down a pip, but that's how it's calculated. So what you'll notice is similar about these two pairs is the USD aspect. So NFP is going to affect both of these and is therefore also going to affect EURUJPY because it's a cross pair of these two pairs. So NFP affects everything. All USD news affects everything, but the biggest USD news, like NFP, has an extra impact on everything. I feel like I need to do a video on YouTube on cross pairs. I feel like a lot of people don't understand how cross pairs are calculated and what that means for your overall analysis. And it's fine that people don't understand it because it's not something that you're really taught. I can't remember how I learned it or when I learned it, but I remember that I was pretty shocked when I learned it. I think someone told me, like a site member told me. So I already think I was running Forex for Noobs before I even knew that. I could be wrong about that though. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Point is, cross pairs are calculated based on the majors. That's how cross pairs are calculated. So they are going to have any news on USD is going to have an impact on all cross pairs too. Are there any other questions, guys? EURUSD in this 1 hour chart range. Even a 30-minute chart range. Hits the bottom of the range, starts shooting up. Hits the top of the range, starts shooting down. This is a very obvious. That's crappy color for this. Used it in built lines. Very obvious and very strong range right now. So what we want to see is we want to see price break the top of this range and keep shooting up. That'd be ideal for us. It's just the question is it going to happen before NFP? Given how traders like to sit on their hands pre-NFP, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't. But anyway, guys, it doesn't look like there's any other questions. I'm going to wrap this one up. A bit of a boring analysis session, but what can you do? I mean, I can't really control the markets, can I? I can just tell you what I see. And yeah. So I'll see you guys for Tuesday's analysis, which will probably be at 10 a.m. as usual. And I'll see all members on the forum as we trade through this NFP release tomorrow, or maybe close out before it. So see you guys later. Thank you for attending. Bye-bye.